Hey guys, so we have another question we wanted to answer that's probably not a full Sunday morning teaching, but is worthy of being answered. So our question is, why don't the churches still use the term apostle? That's a good question. And some churches do. Some movements have the apostle so-and-so and the apostle so-and-so, while others just don't. We don't really use that term anymore. So why is that? Well, let's start at the beginning and make it simple. The term apostle simply means one who is sent out. I don't know how many of us know this, but the term angel also just means messenger. So technically, when we say angel, it doesn't just refer to a supernatural being. It refers to someone who God has sent with a message. Interesting, right? So apostle just means one who is sent out. And we usually use it to talk about the disciples of Jesus. The 12 were directly taught by Jesus and sent out by him, as well as Paul the apostle. See, when we say this, we say that these men were directly under Jesus and directly given these responsibilities, right? When we look at Peter and the others, they were tasked with leading the church after Jesus' death and resurrection. When we look at Paul, he was sent out to not only help write a ton of scripture, as many of them did, but to also help to plant churches and establish the church all over the Roman Empire. So, with that knowledge in mind, many churches that don't use the term apostles are simply reserving that term for these men who had a very special calling. Other churches do use the term apostle, and sometimes they just mean exactly what the word means. They were sent out, right? It's not wrong or inaccurate to say someone could be sent out by a church, or someone could be sent out by an organization for a specific, like say, missionary purpose. We could be called apostles in that way. And in the generic sense, all of us are kind of apostles, since the Bible has the Great Commission, where we're all told to take the gospel all around to those people who don't know it yet, right? So in that sense, we're kind of all apostles. However, there is a danger in sometimes using this word or misusing this word. You see, some people say that the term apostle was rightly applied to the 12, but when we use that term nowadays, we're saying that these people, these modern apostles, carry the same power and authority as the 12. And that is simply not true. The term apostle does not mean that they're able to write scripture or that what they say is on par with scripture. That's a very dangerous statement. You see, what God gave the biblical authors was supposed to be God-breathed and proven to be good for us for learning and for growing and to achieve righteousness in many different ways. That ended at a certain point when we have the conclusion of the writing of the Bible, right? We should no longer have apostles who have new revelations and new things, especially that go against Scripture, that should be held with the same authority. So it's not wrong to say that we do have apostles in the modern day. That's a perfectly fine thing, so long as we understand that anybody who has the title apostle today does not carry the same authority as those apostles during the New Testament, those who wrote Scripture, those who founded the church, those who led it. Okay? So again, use the term apostle, great, but understand what it means. And for us as a church, we don't use the term just so that when we mention the apostles, we have an exactness that we're talking about the 12 disciples and Paul. All these men saw Jesus, were taught by Jesus, and commissioned directly by Jesus to do what they did while he was here on earth, or again, Paul on the road to Damascus. So for us, that's why we reserve that term. It's just for clarity. And for those who use it, I hope that they use it accurately to say people who are sent on a mission, not to make a false claim of authority that no longer exists. All right, guys, God bless.